Hi kindergarten friends, Mrs. Persons here. Thanks for joining me for a read aloud. Today I chose the Berenstain Bears and the Blame Game. This is by Stan and Jan Berenstein. How cool that the authors have rhyming names. Stan, Jan. That's so cool. Blam! I like it. Okay, so let's read the blah blah Blame Game. All right. When cubs are at play, it's always the same. Accidents happen. Who is to blame? The Berenstein Bears and the Blame Game by Stan and Jan Berenstein. You all know the bear family that lives in the big tree down a sunny dirt road, deep in bear country, and of course, you know Mama Bear. Oh, warm, friendly Mama Bear who seldom is heard saying a discouraging word. Oh, look at Mama. But lately, Mama hadn't been all that friendly. Her smile was gone, and she was feeling very discouraged. Why? Because life in the big tree house had turned into one long, miserable, never-ending blame game. Look at Mama. Look at that face. Can I see your mean Mama face? Why is Mom mad? Let's see. He started it. No, she started it. He started it. No, she started it. It was her fault. No, it was his fault. No, it was her fault. No, his fault. Oh! Cries of he started it. No, she started it. It was her fault. No, it was his fault. They filled the air from day to night. And life in the big tree house had become one long argument about who started it and whose fault it was. And Mama had quite enough of it. I'm fed up. Let me see your fed up face. Okay, let's see what happens. So when she heard the sound of breaking glass and spilling water, she rushed into the living room, and there she found a mess of broken glass, spilled water, and a scatter of roses on the floor. And standing over the mess were Brother and Sister Bear. They were pointing at each other and shouting, "It was her fault. No, it was his fault," over and over and over again. Mama looked at the mess. She had cut those roses and put them in a vase with water just that morning. She looked at Brother and Sister, who were still pointing at each other and shouting. And it was time to put a stop to the blame game. Mama put her foot down hard, and so hard it shook the room. Oh boy. Look at those bears. Are they nervous? Does Brother Bear look scared? Uh-oh. Enough of this blame game, she shouted. I want to know who really started it, and I want to know right now. Well, it was like peeling back the layers of an onion. It was enough to make you cry. Mama might have, if she had not been so angry. The more Brother and Sister pointed and shouted, the angrier Mama got. He knocked it over, cried Sister. He made the mess. But that was only because she was trying to poke me in the ribs, shouted Brother. I was not trying to poke him, said Sister. I was just trying to tickle him because he tickled me this morning. But that was because he tickled me last night. But that was because he put a rubber snake on my bed. But that was because she put a squeaky toy on my chair, and it squeaked when I sat down. But because, and so it went. But, because. Mama understood that she was not going to get to the bottom of anything, but she was going to get to the end of her patience. Her head was a whirl with buts and becauses. Rubber snakes and squeaky toys, broken glass, spilled water, and scattered roses. shouted. Enough of what? Asked Papa Bear. He had been fixing the downstairs bay window and heard the shouting. From what I've heard, he said, looking at the mess on the floor, there's more than enough blame to go around. So instead of playing the blame game, why don't we just go to work and solve the problem? All right, sounds like Dad's thinking. He's thinking. Let's deal with the broken glass. For starters, brother, you fetch the dustpan and broom. Sister, you bring the paper towel from the kitchen. Oh, look at this, Mama. Dad is making a plan. Papa quickly swept the bigger pieces into the broken glass into the dustpan. And what about the water and the roses and the little pieces of broken glass? Asked Sister. Oh, they're working together. Mama, said Papa, will you please pick up the roses? But look out for thorns and broken glass. And then he laid the paper towels on the whole wet mess. He swept what was left into the dustpan, and Mama put the roses into another vase. Good for Papa. He had put a stop to the blame game. Papa went to his workshop. The cubs went out to play. But while Papa was putting away his paint and putty, he heard the sound of breaking glass. He rushed outside. The bay window he had just painted was broken, and there stood brother and sister pointing at each other and screaming. Sister had a bat, brother had a glove, and there was a baseball in the grass among the pieces of broken glass. Papa bit his lip, counted to 10, and took a deep breath, and did a very good imitation of a volcano. Oh no! What is Dad going to do? It was his fault! It was her fault! No, he's the one who wanted to play baseball. She's the one who wanted to play baseball. His fault. Her fault. He threw it. She hit it. Blah, 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 blah. What's happening? It seems to me, said Mama, who had heard the crash, that instead of shouting and pointing fingers, we should get together and solve the problem. And that's what they did. They picked up the glass and went to work, and it took some doing. But after a while, the window was painted and puttied as good as new. Good job, Mama. Of course, there are times, said Papa, when somebody really is to blame for something. But most of the time, it's important to remember there's usually enough blame to go around. All right, kindergartners, so I hope you take some time to think about how do we solve problems? Forget the blaming. Let's just work together, make it happen. If you have any books you want to hear, let me know. I'll try to get them to you. I love you. I miss you. See you soon. Keep reading. Keep reading. It's March. It's reading month.